impossible. Terrible in your eyes. Never wanted to hypnotize. Merry-go with more lies. Never wanted to hypnotize. Yeah. Keep it between us, no other people. Just in case I end up being evil. I'm still terrible in your eyes. Never wanted to hypnotize. You're trying to speed up all this time to decide if I'm right. But you know I wanna see you shine, but your light don't belong in my side or my home. No, maybe I'm not the one. No, tried to tell you I'm done. I'm down, yeah, falling to left prison. Oh, because escaping is impossible. Terrible in your eyes. Never wanted to hypnotize. Merry-go with more lies. Never wanted to hypnotize. Yeah. Keep it between us, no other people. Just in case I end up being evil. I'm still terrible in your eyes. Never wanted to hypnotize. Terrible in your eyes. Never wanted to hypnotize. I want nothing but the best. Now you've been won. Yeah, I want you to know the rest before you're torn. Maybe I'm not the one. No, tried to tell you I'm done. Down, yeah, falling to left prison. Because escaping is impossible. Terrible in your eyes. Never wanted to hypnotize. Merry-go with more lies. Never wanted to hypnotize. Yeah. Keep it between us, no other people. Just in case I end up being evil. I'm still terrible in your eyes. Never wanted to hypnotize. You're trying to speed up all this time to decide if I'm right. But you know I wanna see you shine, but your light don't belong in my side or my home. No, maybe I'm not the one. No, tried to tell you I'm done. I'm down, yeah, falling to left prison. Oh, because escaping is impossible. Terrible in your eyes. Never wanted to hypnotize. Merry-go with more lies. to know the rest before you're torn. Maybe I'm not the one. No, tried to tell you I'm done. Down, yeah, falling to life prison. Because escaping is impossible. Terrible in your eyes. Never wanted to hypnotize. There we go with more lies. Never wanted to hypnotize. Yeah. Keep it between us, no other people. Just in case I end up being evil. I'm still terrified in your eyes. Never wanted to hypnotize. You're trying to speed up all this time to decide if I'm right. But you know I wanna see you shine, but your light don't belong in my side or my home. No, maybe I'm not the one. No, try to tell you I'm done. I'm down, yeah, falling to left prison. Oh, because escaping is impossible. Terrible in your eyes. Never wanted to hypnotize. There we go with more lies. Never wanted to hypnotize.
Check 1, 2. Alrighty. It is time for the Friday stream. Of course, it might be the Friday rant today because that's what I feel like. Work was good though. It was a good day. Actually, it was really good. There's been a lot of great things going on. So my mood has nothing to do with good stuff not going on. So, but welcome. Hey, thank you. I apologize, but yeah, Kai texted me or emailed me. I can't remember what he did. Probably, and then he said, "Hey, you got a stream started at 1:00," and I'm like, "Okay." Well, when I put that thumbnail on, I didn't set the date. I thought I had the time right and everything. I guess I knew I was going to do a stream Friday. I thought I was going to do an early one, but that's not what happened. But yeah, so good day, good week. Lot of positive stuff going on, but when it comes to drones, I have a different opinion. So, and I don't think I'm going to say anything today that is going to surprise anybody, because I think everybody already knows the writing on the wall here. I'm just going to show you some evidence that writing is, it's not going to go away. It's with us. So hopefully everything's good. I'm looking at my levels, and I think everything is great. Hopefully you can hear me okay. How you doing, Doc Murdoch? PD is going to hang with us, even though it's late where he's at. He's going to say, he says, I either got to hang out with Dad Random or hang out with my wife. So I'd rather hang out with Dad Random. Thank you, PD. I appreciate you making that decision. Eat more possum. Hey, Brent, I love that you got that project going on. I think about that too. There's been actually my latest bad dream was a tech bad dream. It was technical, but it was not a drone. I actually had a bad scuba diving dream. So if you can understand what a bad scuba diving dream could be, it wasn't a disaster dream. All my dreams have one theme, and that theme is not being ready with all the stuff I need. Okay, so that's where my dreams basically, it's just not being prepared, not having the right gear, that kind of stuff. So yeah, so a scuba diving dream for all things. It actually got me thinking about scuba diving, and I was thinking about, yeah, and then I thought about all the gear that I own. And this actually segues in a way into drones. I was thinking about all that gear that I have, and all of it's outdated, and it's almost 30 years old. And I spent a lot of money on that stuff way back then. I was a kid, and spending my last dime on expensive wetsuit, which obviously I can't fit in anymore. I did get into it when my daughter, when I helped to certify her, but I'm selling my drones and taking them a much safer hobby like knitting. Nah, I don't have an extreme opinion like that. Look, if you look behind me, I stuck drones up there. I'm invested in this hobby. So, I'm not quite going there. So let me just I want to get that white door less and get stuff more. I am strike first, strike hard. Okay. We're Cobra Kai right now. And that's kind of the way I think. I don't give in and I don't give up. But I'm not stupid. I don't sit and beat my head against a door for hours and days on end thinking that things are going to change. And I'm not going to do that. So I'm not going to hope that wild crap is going to fly out my freaking butt right here. Just like that drone right there, like that flying machine. We adapt. So we adapt and overcome. But some of that adaptation is going to occur is going to occur for everybody. Everybody get used to it. Otherwise, you're not going to have a lot of choices. And I'm going to tell you what your choices are going to be in the next couple of years, because I am the future, meaning I can predict. I can tell what's going to happen. I already know what's going to happen. And you just got to follow the money. Okay. And that's like everything in this world. If you follow the money, you know where everything's going. And actually, a soothsayer, okay, I'm going to actually share my screen here with that soothsayer right here. I just happened to run across this right here, by the way. There he is. There's the soothsayer right there. There is the mystic, and it's Billy Kyle right there. He's thinking the same thing. He knows the freaking writings on the wall. You wonder why Billy Kyle is doing so many Tesla videos, and he's evolving. He's evolving into what he needs to be. He's a young kid. He has he understands the future, and he's moving towards it instead of away from it. So you could be possibly moving yourself away from facts and the future if you're not changing. And that's really what we're getting down to here is understanding that the market is changing. And as people involved in this, I don't want to sit there and pretend like it's not going to change. And there's a lot of things you can do at this point. So I'm going to go through the different things that possibly drone flyers are going to do. It just depends on how invested you are into it. Okay. And what I mean by investment is, you see these papers right here. These are just part of transactions that take place. And we've got withholdings and 1099s, and we got all kinds of stuff here. Okay. And when you do your taxes, if you're smart, you see patterns. And the pattern for the last 3 years, because that's about how long it's been as I've been kind of moving through things, that pattern is an arrow that is moving slowly downwards. And you could say, well, you could change your videos and you can change that and you can change this. It doesn't necessarily mean, because if it doesn't necessarily mean that you need to change that, because you can still be getting views and getting watch hours and getting clicks or whatever you want to say. But you might not be being rewarded for that. And there's a couple of things that are happening. And with drones and with YouTube and other social media markets. And that direction is to short form video. So, of course, a live stream is not a short form video. I think that live streams will have a place, and you have to figure out where it is. And it usually will support your whatever you're doing, drones or whatever you're doing. And I think, if anybody that pops in is, like I would say, probably Sunrise, Chris, he's probably more than anybody looking at the future. He's looking for careers within it. He's working within it. He's looking for ways to basically make a buck, in the production. And there actually is a buck in production. And of course you are battling with other producers. Not, if you're a brick and mortar producer like Kelly Shores, you are fighting with all of the people that do not have brick and mortar. Some of the most well-known, some of the most experienced YouTubers right now, they have no brick and mortar. Okay. They do what I do. They work from home. And you're fighting against that if you're a producer. So if you're producing advertisement, you're an agency or whatever, you are battling with people like me that have a GoPro. And people like me, if I'm doing it right, can make money. So if you look at Billy Kyle over here, really good YouTuber. I actually follow his Tesla stuff because it's exciting. It's cool. He says, what's in store for the consumer drone market moving forward? CES had one drone company displaying their products this year, when shows in the past have had dozens. What are your thoughts? Okay. So if you want to, here, I'm actually going to connect to that specific, I'm actually going to get that link and put it in our chat. So I want to give Billy Kyle a heads up there. If you want to answer that for him, you can do that. So, because since I'm going to use his face today, I want him to basically have some of the possible results of what we discussed today. Because I think everybody that's doing YouTube, this tweet had nothing to do with what I'm thinking about right now. I've been thinking about this for a long time. I've actually been thinking about this since the delayed review or release of the Mini 3 and the long pauses in between production of those things, and the delayed release and the expensive releases of the Nano Plus. And there's a couple things that you're noticing. One is the prices continue to climb. Okay. And there's some pushback in the economy. Tech is experiencing layoffs right now. The Chinese economy is getting squeezed still by COVID. And people have to make a choice about what they're going to make and what the biggest bang for their buck is going to be. Okay. So I'm going to get it off of Billy here and put it onto this right here. This is from The Economist. Okay. I don't mess around. I ain't going to some freaking hokey pokey freaking website from some person that's on Twitter. Okay. I'm going to a major publication. This is Technology Quarterly and The Economist. So we're not messing around today. And the headline for drones, okay, is commercial drones are the fastest growing part of the market. All right. That being said, you are, let's say I am Parrot. And I saw this 2 years ago, which they did. All these companies saw this coming because they understand that the market is fluid. It's not just a market that is that's stagnant. Okay. And the market is moving towards the commercial side. That's why at CES and the companies that produced the drone behind me there, that's the Mavic 3 up there, they put out their expensive models and they are promoting and pushing for a commercial market. That drone behind me is not for my rinky-dink freaking photography. If I would have been really smart, I would have just stuck with the, I would say the Air 2 class. Even that one is pushing and you got to look at cost. So since this is Friday, I wanted to tell you that I'm not going to freaking sit and beat my head against the wall. But I'm not doing anything crazy, any crazier than I already do. I'm just taking another look at what I do. And I think everybody takes a look at what they do. They look at the expense report. They look at what is happening with their views. They look at the market and where it's going. So YouTube is catering towards a younger market and a market that is based on short form video, period. They're going to push you towards it, and they are going to disincentivize long form video for short form video. It's just something, if we're going to make videos, they're going to have to be short form videos. Hence, when the Mini came out, the change in the camera. So I would say if you're going to take short form video, you should probably get yourself a Mini 3. I would get the Mini 3, probably the Mini 3 standard right now that you don't even need. The sensors and all the other crap that you're paying for And I wouldn't even get the Pro controller unless you're, you want to have to deal with that. As much as it's cool. But, if you're going to stay in this market, you're going to do video, you're going to be basically short form. Now, let's get into the cost of this little project. Let's get into the cost of being and some of you guys, a lot of you guys are FPV pilots here. Okay. FPV is a tiny little niche market. It is teeny. And it is as much stuff that's being sold in it. It is not driven by popularity like the GPS market is. It is driven by people that are more practical in their decision making. So you're going to get people and people that are basically spending a lot of money, but they're doing it through building. They're doing it through updating and upgrading. They're doing it through trading, but they're not doing it by dropping $1,000 bills. Okay. They are piecing things out, taking days and months and weeks to build things. They are reusing and recycling. And that market is not a lucrative market if you're going to be a YouTuber. Now you could say, well, hey, Drone Camps does it. Yeah, there's like 2 people. You're saying, well, what about Captain Drone? Well, Captain Drone does everything. He's a hoe for video. He just puts everything up. You give him a flying fish and he'll stick it on his channel and tell you it's the greatest thing in the world. I mean, if Captain Drone, he'll sell you this. So, like that. But the future of the everyday, everyman drone guy like me, that's my future right there. There it is for Friday. This is what I got. This is what I got. Why? Because it's cheap. It's sub $250 and I can buy them every so often. I can't keep dropping massive amounts of De Niro on $1,000 drones. Okay, now let's update this conversation. So where does that go? Where does that discussion go? Well, this is where it goes. If I'm not buying $1,000 drones, okay, if I'm not spending $1,000, $2,000 on a drone, which it's crazy, and I'm not crazy, by the way. This year taught me more than anything about being crazy. And I'm just going to tell you right now, people like me don't exist anymore in this market. And there are going to be fewer and fewer buyers like me. Now, institutions, on the other hand, see, I'm an independent contractor, right? Institutions, on the other hand, throw money left and right around. They look for tech. And once you get and ingrain your technology into an institution, they throw money at it all the time. And they will update and upgrade because they have to legally, so they can, move forward with their institutional commitments. So the drone guy like me, I am a slowly dying creature. And I have to figure out a way to survive in this market as a slowly dying creature. A lot of people will make arguments and make points and say, oh, you just got all kinds of money you just throw around. Guys, I don't think that's not how I think. And you don't know who I am. You don't know what I got or what I don't got. And I'll tell you right now, since a person like me or a person like a Dobo or a Kelly Shores isn't buying and excited about buying, then you got the retired folks, the professionals that are running construction. Then you've got if we're not throwing out a grand here and there, there's not enough of us. I'm just telling you. And I'm not stupid enough to keep doing it. So I'm going to keep with my hobbies, but I'm not going to be forced to do things that I don't think are really going to make me move forward in what I like to do. So I'm getting pushed around, and I'm not going to get pushed much more. So anyway, so things will change here. They have to change. So what do you think about where are you going to go? Well, you get very few choices. You can find a single expensive product like a Mavic 3 and fly the hell out of it. But the problem with that idea is, the average attention span of a Mavic 3 owner is very short. And you're assuming that you're going to reach every one of those Mavic 3 buyers or those Mavic 3 users. Hey, Tony in the house. Yeah, and Tony, I'm glad you finally said something. Everybody's been silent. Everybody's like crickets. Because I'm basically telling everybody the truth, and nobody wants to hear it. So we're all in this hobby. So how do you stay in it? And we're even getting pushed out of the mini hobby. I mean, the mini used to be, okay, I'm going to get some bucks together. I don't know if you remember the gentleman from Bulgaria that used to show up to my channel. I mean, that guy's like an engineer there. He had to beg to go buy one. I mean, that thing was the Mini 2, or I think it was a Mini 1. And, when you start throwing around $400, that's where a lot of people maxed out around $300-$400. That's a lot of freaking cash to be throwing it away on freaking adult toys. Really, that's what it is. I mean, there's a hell of a lot cheaper adult toys out there. You probably get more mileage out of. Or at least, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, we're all in this hobby, and so where do you go? Well, I don't want to go here. I really don't. This doesn't make me feel good. And the problem with the toy market is that when most of us users, drone flyers, drone pilots, when we started the hobby, we flew and we crashed, and we were trying to up the game of the hobby because the game wasn't moving as fast as us. Well, what happened was the manufacturers of toy drones said, hey, these guys want all these features. Well, we got what we wanted. They made it. And now we can't afford it. It goes back to content is king. So provide solid content. Okay. Provide solid content. Okay. Now listen to this. Okay. Here, you want to stay with this. Okay. Robbins Drones. Okay. I could change my name and it wouldn't make a damn bit of difference. Okay. Because what I'd have to do what you're doing, I'll go look at your channel in a second, is I would have to do stuff I don't want to do. And the content that I want to do is not what you want to do. And what people want to hear and see is so short term, so short lived. And you're competing with this guy right there. He is the master of the tutorial, so if you want to do those drones, like you're telling me, like what the Mavic 3 that's sitting next to him, you're going to have to do a scripted bunch of facts that we could literally do with some AI program. We have it write it for us, and then we'll just sit there like robots and talk about it. But the most of the large amount of people that got into this were having fun with them. That is not fun with a drone. Flying a drone for 2 minutes and then saying you know everything about it without literally experiencing it, and that's where my channel came in. I was going to take it out and basically do the things that people need to do with it to really learn about flying it. flying skill comes from flying, not from reading your tutorial. And most of the things that are inside of the drone tutorials is garbage. It's stuff you don't use. The follow me's, the now you're getting into the idea of I'm going to use it for commercial purposes. Okay, so now you're getting into the 107 talk. You're getting into all the safety briefings. And you and I that like drones, okay, I'm good with you. You can do those things. I don't want to freaking do them. But you and I that like drones, we're willing to do that. We're willing to do that so we can keep flying. We can go spend the money. We can go and get our 107, which makes you free. I mean, I love it. It really frees you up to do a lot of things. But it's the fun is slowly starting to deteriorate. I don't mind the business side. I can do the business. Okay. I run my channel just like a business. And I know if I work harder, if I work more often, the thing is the more I work, the more it doesn't justify the amount of time. It doesn't pay. And the only way it will pay is if you get into the commercial side of it. You become, and you get away from the thing that got us involved into it in the first place, which is the fun part. I'm willing to, and I'm going to keep my certifications, and I'm going to keep running my channel like a business, because I do. Because the only thing I expect out of my channel, I'm just going to be quite honest, is for it to pay for itself. That's it. All I want my channel to do is to pay for the bills that it costs to run it. That's it. And over the past 3 years, messing around with different things, going into FPV. First of all, FPV doesn't pay crap. The viewership is small, and you have to be a specific type of person. And I'm not that way. I'm not an FPV. I understand it, but I don't go to the level that most FPV pilots want. And they gravitate towards the Bardwells because that's where you need to go. And it's a very small, niche Bardwell / and they own that. The Black Sheep guys, even that whole gang had to be broke up because they commercialized themselves. They use their names to build products and to do even the problem with those guys is that those drones have now caught up to the what do you call the dark side of expensiveness. I mean, it's so expensive. And that's what's going to kill the hobby. People have less money to spend. We're buying eggs. We're not buying drones. And the views might stay there. Okay, I'm going to keep live streaming and I'm going to keep talking about drones, but I'm not going to talk about them exclusively anymore. No way. I'm going to get into the other things that I like. I like live streaming. I like the technology that we use to stream and which is, just fun. I like the challenge of getting better when it comes to your production. I like to go out on in film when I got a chance to go out. So there's a lot of things I like to do. But anyway, I just want everybody to think. I'm not saying you don't go do what you want to do. This is actually a calm rant today, if you want to know. Okay. So let me get it off of Billy here. But I respect the work that he does. I just don't want to do it. Everybody remembers Ed Ricker, huh? Ed Ricker, he saw the light at the end of the tunnel. He's just doing his thing. He says, you know what? I love to fly FPV, and that's what he does. He goes out with his buddies. They get together. They drink a lot, and they freaking go out and have a good time. I don't know if they drink a lot. I'm just throwing that in there. Hey, Steve Dawson, I'm not buying eggs. But anyway, I just want us to think about that. Okay. So that's my opening kind of rant there. That the market is moving exclusively commercial. The market for the consumer is going to be and continue to be this stuff, trash. And think about this. All of those toy drones that are not sub 250 and do not have remote ID, you can't fly them. You can't. Remember I want a drone that's just like a Mavic 3. So I want the toy market to make me one. You can't fly that legally anymore, anywhere, unless you have a 107 or unless you are not putting up videos or unless you're just going to do it and say the hell with it. So, hey, Steve Dawson. Hey, can I moderate you? Do you mind if I moderate you? That I blue wrench you? So that's the beginning, my beginning kind of, rant for today is that, it says most, look, it even says it in the comment, most drones today are either cheap toys or expensive weapons, but interesting commercial drones are emerging in the middle. Okay. What is a commercial drone? A commercial drone is a heavy drone that carries a lot of capability. That's what a commercial drone is. It's a heavy drone that has a lot of capability. Okay. And many of them are going to have multiple payloads. Many of them are going to have expensive cameras. The drone is going to be $1,000. The camera it's going to carry is going to be $4,000. Okay. I actually thought about this. I actually said, you know what? What if I just take all of the stuff that I've done, just get rid of it, just wipe it all out, just clean house, and then invest in a commercial drone? Like we're talking like an M series, a nice one, one with infrared and all that. We're talking 10, 15 grand. And then I run it like a real business. And I use that for what it's really used for. I wonder if I'd probably be in the same boat I'm in now, meaning I would be making just enough money to pay for my technology, but I'd be able to fly a really cool drone. So right now I fly lots of questionable things and, I got piles of stuff that I don't use and it's just junk. Guys, this year I'm going to tell you what I did this year. This year I bought I don't know if it was still part of this year, if it was the end of this year, the Mini 2. I think the Mini 2 was last year. I bought a Mini 3. I bought a Autel Nano Plus. I bought a Mavic 3. I bought an AVATA. And most of that was bought with stuff that I had earned in previous years, meaning that channel was going good. It was making some pretty good inlays. I was putting some good numbers together, and that crap just slowly went like this. And some will say, well, do real good content. Even good content now is not paying much. We're talking, when you think about good content, you're once again talking about tutorials, basically, those talking heads getting on and telling you, stuff that you already know. And then just having a good production value of something simple. I mean, I can do that. I really can. To me, it's just not worth the time to go freaking, set up and go out and film that. Then I got to edit it. So you don't even know how much time that goes into something like that. A real good one has a script. A real good one has a lot of cuts. It's cut down to so a lot of thinking goes into those quick tutorials. And yeah, so Dizzy Dean FPV, doesn't the remote ID start? Well, yeah, it's coming. Okay. And most of the FPV pilots are just going to say F it. So they're just going to do what they want to do. And you can't remote ID something that you don't know. You don't know is flying because it doesn't have it. Somebody's just going to complain and say, hey, look at you. And then they'll call the cops and you just leave. The cops got better things to do than to mess with you because it's all enforced locally and you're just going to go. And, it's going to be Karen once again. And that cop has got bigger fish to fry than you flying your freaking FPV because you're usually a nice guy. Minding your own business. PD, I had to make a difficult choice today. Do I keep my family warm and put gas in the central heating on? Or do I buy a M2 battery? A Mini 2 battery? Yeah. So, well, they've got coats and now I have another battery. That's funny. PD, you are a true warrior. So I like that. I think that's more true than anything. So heck with them freaking kids, man. Okay, so I'm not trying to get everybody freaking all bummed out. There's our chat right there. That'd be a good way to throw my chat up, bro. Just throw the chat up there. I never even thought about that. Just running it that way. That's like one of those epiphanies where you're just going, should I just and it's the simplest solution ever. Oh, instead of doing an overlay. Oh man, that's funny. I usually do is I put it up top there. So, but I run one so I can keep my eyes down on the camera. Guys, I still make mistakes doing this stuff, but it is Friday. And guys, yes, I am thinking about what I need to do next. And if you're not doing that, here, let me moderate Dizzy Dean here too. I've got to moderate a couple of you guys. So Dizzy, keep flying them freaking birds, baby. And Steve, I'm not buying eggs. I think that's funny as hell. But Lee McCready in the house. Okay. All right. Hey, Steve, can we hook you up with a good icon? Maybe PD can talk to you and talk you into getting maybe we'll get Sunrise on it. And Steve, if you keep popping in, we'll get Sunrise Water Media to get you an icon. You just tell him the stuff you like and he'll just make it and we'll just throw something together for you. But we're talking about growth. We're talking about where the hobby is going. And there's a couple things about me. I'm going to tell you right now. I am not just an FPV guy. Okay. I have too many interests. I can't just focus on one thing. I can't obviously build anything for crap. And at last show, I showed you guys my build back behind me there. Build Back Better program right there, which is the big 550 over there. Brent basically is working on Brent, what's the size you're working on again? What's the frame size? I can't remember. We got to get Brent talking. We got to get, that's Eat More Possum. We got to get him going. Let's see. Here's Doc Murdoch. Wait till you start pricing out full-size aviation parts and upgrades. Talk about expensive. But yeah, everything has to be FAA certified. And everything has to be, and then you can't even, right, Doc? You can't even put it in yourself unless you're an FAA certified pilot. You just wait. That is going to be the exact thing that's going to happen to that stuff back there. You see that home build, that big freaking giant one that would be on your right, okay? We went from the thing over there, that one, okay, that one up there. That was actually really cool when it first came out. I can't remember and then the smart guys, the guys that went, okay, they got together and they started to take the FPV skills and they started to build, especially, I think it started with the wing guys, and they said, we can make that. And then they made the software for it. They made the open source software. Any one of you guys can make a what I would consider to be a commercial grade quadcopter. There's plenty of channels out there that'll teach you how. I'm actually going to do a little research on that. I'm going to do some research. I just want to, I'm curious. Because this all kind of came about. Here, I'm just going to open that up. I'm starting to get a lot of things open here, so I got to watch out. Let's go here, and I'm going to put 550 build. Oh, that's truck. So 550 quadcopter build. I'm just curious because some really good tutorials out there. There we go. Oh, perfect. Look at that. That's 6 years ago. Check this one out. Okay. We're going to look at some of these. And this is what Brent is doing right now. I'm going to do a screen share here. Right here. Check this one out. Look at that beauty. This is the Daya 550 quadcopter build right here. And there it is flying. Look at that sucker. Look at how big that thing is. 6 years ago, we were doing that. 6 years ago. Isn't that cool? I don't even know who this guy is. But that was, I can't believe that was that long ago. And he is flying a freaking badass quad. And that made me excited about being in the hobby. And he's basically showing you how to put that thing together, all carbon fiber. I don't even know if I could afford the parts. There's all, that was fun. Look at that. Look at that ESC. That's a speed controller right there. There's that's the ESCs there. They're individual. That's the power distribution board. Okay. Right there. And that's the ESCs that came off of that. This one looks like, I can't remember how many wires are coming off that, but 6 years ago. Those were the good old days. I'm just telling you. And we were getting more for our money, except for the camera. The camera was always the problem. And now I could just take my DJI Action 2, strap it onto that big freaking bird behind me, and I will get stable video. Really good quality, stable video. So he's building this monster. Well, I think mine was flying with 950s. I don't know if he talks. This is Florida. But this is what these are the birds. Let's see, he's going to take off here. I want to see it fly. It looks like he's testing it because when you first take off, there you go. And he's using it. He's got probably what's called Horizon mode. That is such a pretty bird. And the batteries have come so far. I would strap a Lion pack on that now, and you could fly that thing forever. But that's what we were doing. That's what we were doing back then. Let me see if I can find another one. That's a good look. Now this looks like the frames that a lot of people were making. This is a 550 with a Pixoc flight controller. But you'd just go and you just buy your parts and you'd build that. That was fun. That was fun. I really enjoyed that. And just to get the components that were much cheaper. Oh, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. I would like to go and check out what those motors cost, because that was the biggest cost, the motors and the flight controller. I'm trying to think of what I paid for my motors, but they were 950s. It's exactly what flies the Phantom. It's the same motors. You basically were copying the Phantom build, and then, it just walks you through all the parts. So there it is. And there it is. Hey, eat more possum. Hey, Brent, there's Brent's flight controller right there. It says Pixhawk 2.4. I can't think of each of them had a different number, and I don't know if there's but anyway, I'm just getting into right here. Here's the, let's see, parts used, F550 frame kit, Pixhawk 2.4.8, 6 Phantom 3 920 kV motors. Mine were 950s. Let's see, 30 amp, 6X, is that so that's a hexcopter. So that's 6 30 amp ESCs, and that's what most of them, you get the 30 amperes. R9s, because I think I bought, I was getting my ESCs for like $10 for like 4 of them. R9s, the frames are not cheap. This one's a cheap frame, but the carbon fiber frames were never cheap. So says, I am designing a 9-inch 6S that will be a hybrid FPV camera drone using iNav. Yeah, you see, I think if my big problem with when I got into the project with Kai that he finally is helping me with, Kai is so brilliant. But he knows the big ones are just they're outside of the realm of most people, because this thing requires you that you throw an RID unit. Okay. But yeah, I'm actually gonna part out the cost of one of these just to see. Mine used an Arduino flight controller. This one's so much better. It has way more capability, and then it gives you the arrow. And then of course, there's tons of ways of things that show you how to set it up. So, but look at that, 9 years ago. Check this one out. This video is from freaking 9 years ago. Right there. Now that right there, I believe, is the old flight controller. There's a GPS, but that was the old one that you see all the wires coming out of there. So every motor has 2 wires, and then you got the common. Now that one has basically that's S-bus, I believe. Let's see. I don't like the word cheap. There's no such thing as cheap when it comes to this stuff. 500. So he's flying a 500. Mine back there is a 550. 500, 550. They're nice size. So basically, you're building with a 550 frame. You are building a 8 or 9 inch, right? Something like that, 8 or 9 inch quad. But any one of you guys could do this. Look at that giant banana battery under there with that big XT60. This was 9 years ago that this was built. So there's just as much pride that went into building these as building the small ones, the little. So maybe that's what I need to do is, and maybe, to get my interest back, since I'm 107 certified and all that, is go back to that one, get it flying again, put an updated flight controller on it, and get it flying, get that one going. And then set it up for Crossfire, right, Kai? There he is. It's Kai Friedrichsen. Okay, so Kai, if you missed my rant earlier, I said the drone market is ever changing. It is basically killing off the consumer drones, and it's killing them off for profit because all of the money is here. And to waste your time on the consumer market and to not take advantage of the massive commercial market means that you would be using your workforce for an endeavor that is dying. So now the FPV market is going to go like this. It's not changing. I think there's been a few people added, like me. I'm a convert, but I'm just a flying convert. I'm not a building convert. Right, Kai? But yeah, commercial drones are the fastest growing part of the market. Most drones today are either cheap toys or expensive weapons. But interesting enough, commercial uses are emerging in the middle, says Tom, whatever his name is. But this comes from The Economist. This is no bull crap. Okay. And then it talks about, all kinds of things, and it talks about missiles and terrorists, and, it gets into that stuff. So, but that is, and if you basically look up the future of the hobby, if you're just saying the drone hobby and you want to look for a middle ground, which is the GPS quad, right? The Mini 1 GPS quad, that's the middle. It's dead. It's gone. They'll be out there. But it's almost like we went full circle. We went all the way to the top. And now we're going another direction. We're going down and over another way. The consumer market is being regulated to death. Yes, I didn't even come. Hey, Kai, I hadn't had a chance to get to the regulation part yet. And it got absolutely destroyed, and the users are going down. Everybody's afraid, except for the people that don't mind breaking the rules, and that's all it's left. So I wouldn't say the drone hobby's done for. Kai, can I show you this again? Can I show you this right here? 9 years ago. This was being built 9 years ago. You can still build that. The problem is, and I think what a lot of people are maybe might argue with me on this, is the parts for this are getting more difficult to buy because back then everybody was building those. That's actually a camera mount right there. You see that? 9 years ago. That's where you mount your GoPro. Look at that. Oh, what's he putting on? What is that? Oh, that's actually an old FPV camera. And then there's a GoPro mount right there. Look at that. Look at that. There's the transmitter up there. There's the video transmitter. 9 years ago. Yeah, I understand. You're saying the hobby side. I'm just having fun looking through this. This is what Doc Murdoch is flying right here. This is what he's making. Ooh. He's not making that. He's going to be making this. Another commercial. All right, this is Kramer right there. Is that what you're making, Doc, right there? That is a 9-inch bird, maybe? Did he say 10-inch? DC-10, yeah. That's a 10-inch right there. That is a bat. That's a vampire bat. But it'd be interesting to find out what, you get onto eBay and you go 550 quad copter parts. Let's see what we get. Right there. Look at that. $41. $41 for the motor and the ESC. Okay. $41. There's some frame. I'm just looking for numbers here. Usually you got just tons of it. There's your frame right there. That's pretty much that's a 550 with the legs like I got. But that's a nicer one. I like that you can adjust the wings in and out, or once you start building this thing, you're literally buying a Mavic anyway almost. There's another one right there. That's a nice frame. The best ones are folding frames. They make ones like that are folding. But I'm looking for motors. You can still find there's a 2600 kV. That's a small one for mini planes. But to find the 950s, quadcopter parts, yeah, there's arms are like $10. You used to buy the whole frame for that much. Let's see, what's that? Lipo batteries. I'm just looking for generic parts for a 550 quadcopter. Let's put down parts and then build. So we get the right size. But I guess I could click on this and then. But there's some 920s right there. So they're pretty close, right there. $9.99 to $18.99. That's for 4S lipos. There's a lot of different options now. There's those are different mounts for the motor mounts. You used to have just tons of parts. Most of this stuff now is just fixing your broken ones. Yeah, there's another motor right there. but not anything like there used to be. Oh, here we go. It's this. There's a Fly Sky temperature voltage telemetry data collection module. There's some tennis shoes. That's what I was looking at today. All right. So that's not a lot. So I could say 550 quadcopter build parts. You just got that's pretty much everything. Just not a lot out there. Yeah. So you're paying like $40 for one set of motors. Let's see if I can go 550 quadcopter build flight controller. Let's see what's available. Let's see what they look like here. They're right there. There it is right there. That's used though. Here we go. Used ArduPilot flight controller with GPS. That's exactly what I used right there. Used. It's not new. Right there's one right there. Aerosky. There's your flight controller. So that's APM 2.5. So that's the chip that's in there. Here's a kit. So this kit with the controller, that's very similar to a lot of the builds right there. So you can still build one for about $300. That's what you want though. If you're going to build one, this is the flight controller you want. It's $150 right there. So anyway, you can still do it. You can still build it. There's your mount. There's your shock mount for your flight controller. There's your ESCs. Let's see. So $50 for one. Is that what that is? There's your GPS. I think so. 4 pieces. Let's see here. XT60 long with XT60 plug. No, you don't want that. Let's see, long 4 pieces. So yeah, so $50 for 4. Those are 40 amperes. That's probably what I do. I've blown out my 30 amperes. So anyway, those are the options. So you can still get them. You can still get them. Well, you know, I think with what I want to do and with what, let me see if there's any more. I wasn't looking for his stuff at all, particularly. I commented on his stuff today, and I had just put out there. Let's go back here. Consumer drones. The future. Let's see. Future of consumer drones. There we go. See if there's any. Then of course you got the politics behind it. That's another one. Right here. Here we go. Here's a great example right here. I'm going to look at Drone Valley. So Drone Valley, I dropped the link here. Okay. Okay. Check this out. This is a perfect example. Here, I better go back. Looks like the big announcement from DJI today is for a dual 4K FLIR combo camera for the M200 series. This is a great news for the commercial space and a peek at the future of consumer drones. Expect a full review on our channel. So, yeah, so a freaking $3,000 freaking, that's the future of drones right there, guys. It's not these lists, this stuff. It's the ones like I showed you, the home builds. This one, these have dual GPSs. So, you know, there we go. There's another expensive drone, but there's no, anyway, it's just any flight controller will work. Yeah. You just have to have one that's easy to set up, especially if you've never done it before. If you've never done it before, it's easy to go through the APM stuff, and go through Mission Planner, And then watch a lot of videos by Painless 360. Okay. That's where I learned the most. So let me just look up Painless. I think if we're going to be true warriors for the hobby, you're going to need to go and find, because even Painless he's moved to the FPV where it started this way. If you look up on his channel heading up there, that's the stuff that I used to watch him do. He's got great tutorials for APM. Okay. So, or let's see, APM tutorial. Okay. Right there. So there it is. And he talks about I think I had I don't remember which flight controller I used, if it was 2.5, 2.6, I can't remember. I might have been somewhere in the middle. So these are 8-bit boards, and then they get obviously with when Pixhawk came out, but this stuff here, there's the video series. He's got all kinds of stuff in here. You see that APM radio link? That's what I was using right there. This thing right here, this Mavlink radio setup, and it basically sent the telemetry from my drone to my laptop. I can't remember the distance because it didn't have a lot of power, of transmission power, so I can't remember what the voltage was since it was coming out of a USB port that can't have much voltage. But yeah, so if you want to fly right there, you go to Painless 360, and then you go to Painless 360, and you go maybe Pixhawk. He'll tell you about that too. I recommend Pixhawk. If you really want to just save money, I don't think you save much by not, but he'll talk you through it, how you set up right here. Here's the 2020 Pixhawk setup with the GPS, and that thing will fly. That right there. That thing will fly just about anything you want to fly. So, and then he explains what it does, what you need to do, how to set it up. So it's cool. And then there's the Pixhawk Cube. That was just coming out. So 2.8 was the highest. Yeah. But I learned a lot. I learned all about because everything was big. To me, it was like working with Legos, you know? And then when I got stuck, I just watch videos. Then I'd think and watch, and but I never recorded a lot of I didn't record the process because I was learning. I was using other people's material, but I did show my flight footage. So somewhere on my channel, I've got I have something in there. I have to look through. I have to find him. I have no idea. I have no idea where. I have to go look through my material. I just want to see if I can find anything. Let's see if I can go. Yeah. I don't even know what I called my videos back then. But anyway, I would highly, anybody that's in the hobby and you're just looking for something else to do that's not FPV, but it's flight related. It's not wings, but you still like quadcopters and you want to learn about the technology. This is where you go. You go right there. So you go right into that stuff, and then and everything is tutorial and slow. I mean, the FPV, and it's big. So if you're like me, that's where I start. I started there. So will you save money? You can piece it out. You can do the same thing. I mean, you can slowly work through it, and there's just as much expense eventually. If like what I started to learn was that batteries were expensive. That was a big deal. So, but batteries, they've actually made the hobby better. All righty, guys. I think I've done enough today. I just wanted to tell everybody that the days of the GPS quad flying over the Snake River Canyon, they're coming to an end, and they have to go somewhere else. So those videos are going to be few and far between, assuming that DJI even puts out even what they depends on what they want to do with that project. They or that area. They own it, and there's no competition. It's not going to be cheap. If you want to build something cool, and think about what you could do with a home build drone for $1,000. You could literally build the best drone ever, and it's completely in your control. So, and you can load that sucker up. You can put some heavy payloads on there. I did a bunch of different experiments with payloads, weights, and cameras. So, and I was way smarter then than I am now. I really was. I knew so much more back then. And by flying all this commercial stuff, I freaking lost my brain. My brain disappeared. Now I just fly them. I don't really care about what they're made of and inside of them. I let somebody else determine that. So, and I think part of the interesting part about flying is understanding it. So anyway, alrighty, guys. It was good to see you. I was happy to have a discussion. We will continue this discussion on the direction of the hobby. I am going to continue with flying drones, but I have to decide where I want to put my, where I want to put the eggs in the basket, and I don't know, but the market is telling me that I can't go the way I would like to go. I would like to stay forever in the mini world. It's just not going to be that. It's not going that way. And I'm not going to put tutorials together to read spec sheets for people. And, that's kind of what people want to watch these days. And so anyway, don't forget about the remote ID module when you build that big thing. Yep, you're going to have an RID module. Yes, you will. Assuming they know you're flying that giant thing. And believe me, when you fly a bird that size, she makes a little bit of noise. Not too much, though. That makes a lot less noise than the AVATA. I'll tell you that. When you're flying those big 7, 8, 9-inch props, it's a very deep drone. So very deep droning sound. So, hey, take it easy, PD. Hey guys, always, thank you for joining us today. There's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of cool things in the hobby. So I'm not trying to dissuade anybody from hanging out in the hobby. What I'm trying to do is, I don't want to be this guy. I don't want to be this guy. I don't. I thought I liked it for a while. When I first got in, I watched a lot of the early quadcopter guys, and they were flying basically stuff like this. And that's the nature of, this is called affordability. And, I like this kind of stuff as much, but when we started to get into the $200 flight controllers, this would actually be really good in that 550 build here. Using my V1 goggles, power that sucker up there. All I need is some power to that puppy. But yeah. Just Possum, is that why you're smiling? Hey, Dizzy Dean. Hey, thanks. I hope, like I said, I hope I didn't, I hope I was thinking about, hey, trying to steer people in a direction, because we all, if you look at the stuff that I've got around here, I've gone in every direction. I've gone in every direction the market has told me to go into. And I had fun in those directions, but the directions keep getting more and more and more expensive. And I have a limit, and everybody else has a limit. And just stay in your limits. You can only do certain things. You can buy really expensive drones and get very little use out of it with really cool cameras, or you could get into the building side. Okay. You can get into this side here and build these really cool, these really cool building projects. Okay. And have painless 360 here. Let me just let that commercial play through there. I let them get that free commercial in there. Stop that. Okay. But look at how simple that is. You got a buzzer in there. You got you've got basically a power source. You've got a GPS. You just plug in the motors, and you see on the bottom there, just plug and play. There's your power up there. You got your smoke stopper. That's a power. That's actually a transformer, right? Because that sucker. Look at all the wires coming out of that sucker. And then you've got your transmitter right there. Pretty simple. Not a lot of moving parts. And most of it's the setup and the build. So my Mavic is hacked, so I'm not worried about RID. You hear that? You hear what Lee McCready just said? Maybe that's what I need to do, is hack mine, but I don't. It says Nick Hillhead. I think I'll get rid of it. That says I have a DJI Mini. That seems to many rules now. Yeah. See, Nick, you are the prime. You are the prime example of the problem. Now, I'm not saying you're the problem. I'm saying what you're saying is what people are thinking. And I'm the only here, Nick, I just moderated you here. The thing I'm saying is you're going to have to go get your commercial stuff. You're going to have to say sub 250. You're not going to be able, I mean, this gear right here is 250 grams. Then you stick a 1,000-gram freaking drone on it. Does anything DJI that uses the Go 4 app will be very popular really soon? I can't keep up with every new Dizzy. You don't even have to worry about the every drone coming up, because they're just not. Well, the Air Unit Vista V2, yeah, until they stop making them. Yeah. So the thing is you either adapt or you die, and that's really where we're going. Hey, Itchy Sack, how you doing? I've been on for how long I've been on already? We've already been on for an hour and 20 minutes. That's okay. I knew it was going to be a long one today, but we really were getting into where the hobby is going, that the consumer side of the hobby is really going to be limited, and it's going to be dictated by the price that DJI wants you to pay. I don't know how Autel is going to stay in this. With what happened with their Nano series, I can see Autel just going, F this, I'm out of here. We don't need this. They got the money. They're a massive company. I went and finally looked them up. They're humongous. They're as big as freaking DJI. They're huge. But they make decisions based on the market as well. And if the market's not a bunch of old guys buying, $500 drones, because I wish they were $500, if they would cap them somewhere, why don't they cap them? So they just cap the price for us. It's just insane. And I'm not stupid. I'm not insane. I'll fly, but I'll find ways to fly cheaper. And, that's Another thing, okay, here's one more thing I thought of. The other thing that's affecting the market is, and this could be a positive thing, it's the war in Ukraine. And the reason why the war in Ukraine is affecting the market is, I'd say a couple hundred drones a day get shot out of the sky. The Chinese can't make them fast enough. And they know that the Ukrainians can afford expensive drones. So they put out an expensive drone with a lot of capability, and they create a loophole for that to fly within the aeroscope world to keep it from getting compromised. The problem is the technology, the anti-drone technology is getting really good. So there's going to be a drone shortage eventually. So that's another issue, is the potential of that, the drone shortage, and especially big ones with really good cameras. So, alrighty, I think I'm done. I'm out of gas. I'm out of speculation gas, technology gas. But looking back to, the time where these, where you could get a flight controller and a bunch of motors for $300 and a frame and all the parts. It's so much cheaper, and then you throw a $300 RIT module on it, which costs more. All right, I got to run too, though. See you later, Doc. I'm closing her down. So there you go. And I am pretty much out of here. So thank you guys. I appreciate it. I don't mean to not have a lot of energy today. I do have a lot of energy. I'm just thinking, okay? Thinking about stuff. If you have not, please hit the thumb. I would appreciate it. It would be interesting to find out, what I do with this. Because I love flight. I'm not going to quit that. So I love flight. It's just how I do it is going to be determined by the market, and the market is pushing me in ways that I just don't know. And I've got to keep viable, So, and I don't want to fly toys. I really don't. I can, but I don't want to. I don't, these are fun, but that's about it. They're fun for like 2 minutes. Kind of like Kai. He's fun for 2 minutes. Alrighty. I'm out of here. Have a great weekend. I got to go chaperone a dance tomorrow, so I don't get to do anything. I guess I could do it all week. I can do all day. I just got to get out tomorrow early. And let me see if I can get some music going here. Get some outro music. All right, we're out of here. Later and bye. Have a great weekend. See you guys on Tuesday. Maybe Kyle hosts a stream Tuesday when he's feeling better. What is that? I'm so good looking. I saw my reflection in a spoon. Okay. I'm out of here. I'm shutting it later. We're shutting it down, man. Dan, you need to go back to drone worship. Okay. You got to go back. We got to go. We're talking about going back to the future. Okay. Today is going back to the future right here. We were looking at that stuff. Okay. So back to the future. We're thinking, all right, I'm out of here. Have a good weekend. And I said that twice. Now I am going to actually follow through with my threat. Later. Have a good one.